As many MGTOW men know, the society is on the trajectory to a massive collapse due to the lack of patriarchy and control over women. What they seem to be missing is perspective. They look at the society from first-person point of view. Personally, I'm a big picture guy. And what I am seeing is quite different. Big things move slow. The bigger they are, the slower they move. It's physics. That's why some life-changing things that transform entire societies can take few generations or even millennia, before they suddenly come to be. They have been building up slowly underneath, day after day, until it all explodes in one instance, just like a volcano. There might have been some tremors, but usually once it goes pretty fast. And the collapse of our society is one of these things. Unfortunately, I have a bad news for you. It's already here, we're already in the eye of the storm. No, we do not have generations before it happens. No, we will not be spared. Why am I saying this? Well, look at what the collapse is supposed to look like and compare with how the world looks today. Men and women have been at war for many decades now, heck, generations even. We have never been further apart from one another in the entire history of the human race. Our own governments treat men like second-class citizens and sacrifice their lives in pointless wars or enslave them to the system via family court or one-sided taxation system where women are the beneficiary of hard work men do. The welfare has never been larger and more money hasn't been printed. It could not be any clearer. The collapse does not progress in linear manner. No, on the contrary, it is on a logarithmic scale, doubling its speed and scale with every step it takes. The government is openly discriminating and unfairly prosecuting and punishing men. The companies are willingly or forcefully underpaying overworked men and overpaying underworked women, while promoting inadequate women to positions suited for adequately skilled men. The media is constantly attacking men and everything that is male or masculine. The education system is telling young boys whose balls haven't even dropped yet, that they are defective from the day they were born, and when they behave like human beings of male sex, they will be voluntarily or forcefully drugged and emotionally and psychologically sterilized in order to fit the female worldview. In most cases, assisted by the parents themselves. When parents treat their own offspring like damaged goods and provide no protection and guidance to their younglings, when mothers use children as bargaining chip to extort the fathers with the government's assistance, there is no more society to have. No more hope for better times. We are here. Choo-choo motherfuckers. The train has arrived. The false rape accusations, Me Too movement, forces female and feminization of politics, culture and education is historically at its peak. How do I know that? It's simple, it has been normalized. Once things are normalized, they have achieved their goal, their purpose has been fulfilled. The hatred of red-pilled men towards women and hatred of women towards all men is not to be blamed on either of the sexes though. It is neither's fault. Both sexes simply react to the system that is in place. I need to stress this again, do not blame women for their behavior. They are simply reacting to the system and adjusting to survive. Men are doing the same, although naturally not in such a destructive manner. One could try to blame feminism and approximately pinpoint the day in the history where it all went wrong, like many MGTOW creators do, but the truth of the matter is that this was inevitable. It is no one's fault, really. We as a society are simply experiencing the natural evolution of our species. It would happen one way or the other. The time frame is irrelevant. It was inevitable for our society to go through this. The technology only sped up the process, that's all. One could ponder if we're even destined to continue as a species for so long. But that is topic for another video. Blaming women, feminism, some old presidents and governments or technology itself is pointless. It's like blaming forest fires on hot and dry weather. It was bound to happen and there was no force in the universe that could prevent it from happening. It's just a matter of time. So let's get past this pointless blame game and let's look at the future and the big picture. We as men interact with the world through the reality of it. Unlike women that interact with world through men. So as men, we see what is truly going on, but we also have to look and plan forward. The reality is what it is, so what are we going to do about it? Do we just sit behind our computers and write nasty, hateful and spite comments on the internet, living in the past, or are we simply going to move forward? I think we have no choice. Anger is useless, unless condensed and aimed toward a very singular point in time and space. If you are still in the anger period, like many MGTOW and red pill men are, use it to your advantage. Every emotion is a powerful force, if utilized properly. Good emotion or bad, it does not matter. Emotion is the only thing in this world that grounds us in space and time. Nothing else is capable of that. So let's use it. If you are past the anger, that's great as well. Let's think about the next steps with clear head, shall we? So what can we do then? Well, If you look at the red pill and MGTOW philosophy from the bird's eye view, you will come to the conclusion that both of them are part of one and the same event. They are both reaction to the current state of the society. Neither red pill or MGTOW is some kind of secret on any level. Simply put, most men are coming to the same conclusion, on their own. No one is whispering into their ears. They see the world objectively and simply react to what is going on. Their self-preservation and survival instincts are kicking in, on their own. And they are all coming to the same conclusion. Why? Well, because it is the natural conclusion. It has no bias, no subjectivity. This is completely natural, objective and emotionless. Leaving the fault to society be to its own destiny and simply not partaking in it. You really don't need a PhD to deduct the same conclusion. We have been seeing massive amount of new men discovering red pill and MGTOW, who are still in their teenage years. This level of awakening is simply unprecedented in the entire history of our species. Sure, there have been MGTOWs in the history, for various reasons, but never in such large numbers as we are seeing today. And with the help of the modern technology, specifically the availability communication channels, there is no stopping this. No government, lawfully or forcefully, is capable of stopping this because it is not a movement or specific group that can be targeted and destroyed. It is a philosophy, something that one concludes on his own without need of any external forces, by simply observing one's surroundings. It is an individualistic behavior, yet it connects many. The society has done this to itself. Hence, by definition, it will produce more MGTOW men by its mere existence. In the end, so many men will opt out that the society will collapse financially, politically, militarily, and it will simply cease to exist. Not just one government or one country. This is a worldwide phenomenon. It does not matter what political system is in place, the core of societies around the world are the same, and due to modern technology, we are so interconnected that all societies are damaged the same. The MGTOW men are few in comparison to the entire male population, but even today, if every single MGTOW man would leave his country for one single fiscal year, the country would default. The power is already in our hands despite abysmal numbers. The society hates single men. Single men produce less work, because they need less money to live off of. That also translates to lower taxes and less spending overall, which decreases the GDP of the entire economy. Married men, on the other hand, need more money to take care of the family, which translates in more hours worked, more taxes paid, and more money spent overall. Less taxes means less welfare. Less welfare means the politicians will no longer be able to buy female votes. Here lies the foreseeable problem: once the financial breaking point actually breaks, we'll have a choice. Regain control of women, law, family, education and values, or restart the system. Unfortunately, the white knights, with their large numbers, will restart the system, there is no doubt about it. But the process will repeat itself yet again. This time it will take very small amount of time to collapse again. Question is, how many times can this happen before complete and irreversible collapse? Historically, there have been few occasions where a bachelor tax has been introduced and it actually really existed. It is no myth. Early records point to Rome, but this is simply nothing new. It is not common, at least today, but it is most definitely not new. So imagine if governments in the near future will start introducing some kind of hidden bachelor tax. No, it won't be openly named bachelor tax. The government cannot do it so blatantly because many men are still asleep, but they will find a very smart way to punish his unmarried men one way or another. This might have worked in the past, but as I have mentioned few times already, we live in a modern society with modern technology, and we are very connected with the outside world. If a government would introduce such a tax, or not even that, maybe just a very minor tweak to the tax system that would favor women only a tiny bit more than it already does, men would simply flee. They would not only check out of the society, by living minimalist lifestyle, keeping their money and spending less, they would just check out of the country, of the nation. They would leave. Plain and simple. And the government can do fuck all to prevent this from happening, leaving it with blue-pilled worker bees and ungrateful entitled females that would keep on consuming all the resources, like a cancer, until the country would finally run out of welfare money, and printing more money would result in hyperinflation. Always go to where you're treated best. The emigration would not look that bad, but in time, the women will realize that they are left with few chads and sea of cucks they will never get wet for. If such a country would be attacked by an enemy, either before or after such financial collapse, no sane men would go and fight. Going to war makes sense only if you have something to fight for. But we have no women to fight for today. We have no children to fight for today. We have no families to fight for today. We have no values to fight for today. We have no land to fight for today. We have no tomorrow to fight for today. Period. And our lives? We can just move, and we will move. Far, far away. Smart men will simply leave, the dumb men will be left to die or be enslaved by the enemy whilst the war brides will be laughing at them. Such society has no privilege to be defended. Such society will be conquered and absorbed by stronger society. Question is, what would be said stronger society? Sure, there are some powerful military forces in the world, but the men in those armies are experiencing the same lack of purpose and values. So one might conclude that no such war will take place to begin with. Simply put, men are no longer willing to be disposable drones in the games the powerful play, if there is no incentive, no dangling carrot, no light at the end of the tunnel. That's why I said at the beginning that this is it. We're already witnessing the collapse. It's just so big and slow that we don't perceive the changes on a daily basis. Instead, we're visualizing decades we've lived through and comparing them with one another and with what we are seeing today. And one can clearly see that the future is here, old man, as famous meme says. It is extremely hurtful and saddening that men today, who decided to leave the society to its fate, will never experience fatherhood and family and love and relationships that come from these concepts. But we are the unfortunate witnesses of the lost generations. We have not chose it ourselves. We have not caused it ourselves. We have not participated in perpetuation of it, but we have been born into it, and we have no choice in the matter. We simply are, the reality simply is, and we have to deal with it the best we can. Sometimes, the terminal patient has no chances to live and then the medicine cannot do anything for him but let him die. Hopefully in comfort and painless, but in this context, the pain will be felt throughout the world and generations to come. So as a man, if you called it quits already and you see the world for what it is and are not putting the pink glasses of hope over your eyes, I suggest you prepare yourself for the future. Make sure you can be mobile if needed. That you can transfer your wealth fast when the time comes and have a plan where to go and what to do. Develop universal skill that will allow you to earn money anywhere and to survive your new life once you get there. You can potentially move preemptively, to avoid the hustle when the shit really hits the fan. We have seen what the governments are willing to do to their citizens when there's just a small coup. Now imagine if there is a financial collapse, imagine what they will do then. To others, who still hope for something positive, I say enjoy yourself. Enjoy the decline, as Aaron Clarey says. Become selfish, greedy, hedonistic if you want. We might as well get the most out of it, while we still can. I am Spectre and I bid you good day, my friend.